Very good. Does that sound loud?
No.
No? Just to me, I guess. Appreciate these guys getting out here early in the morning, doing what they do. Well, you guys know me. I don't know what to do really this morning. I don't really plan a sermon ever, really. So I feel like you guys all here know everything I know. So I'm not sure what to do, but I just been thinking about this. Even Thursday night, I talked a lot about it. I just think about freedom. I just can't get off that word freedom and what it means to me now. Even now, I'm not sure if they're on there or not, but I got a message yesterday from somebody in Afghanistan wanting to know if our service this morning was going to be live because they wanted to watch. I'm thinking, man, that's I mean, here it is Easter. We're free because of Jesus, in so many ways, in every way, but we're also free to gather up here and eat breakfast and do what we want because there's people right now, they ain't waking up with their family. They're over in the sand. So I just honor them and appreciate them. I don't know if they're watching or not, but this bunch right here is thankful. Freedom, gosh, I think Easter always reminds me, yeah, there you go. The other one's on the bottom left, I think. There you go. There you go. I think Easter even is more time just to be more conscious of it, but as we grow and get more in this thing, it's like Christmas and Easter and those holidays we celebrate, where it used to be, that's what brought us into mind of it, but now it's like every day's Easter, every day's Christmas now. It's like, what are we going to do, get all hyped up now because it's Easter? I mean, we pretty much stay hyped up anymore, So I don't know how to come up with something better for Easter. I mean, it's just better all the time. And so I'll never get over the fact of being thankful for what He's brought me out of and what He's brought me into, and that life is better. It's changed. It's good because we realize freedom and we understand what the revelation of grace really is, and that it's changed our hearts and our life. I never want to get over that. I'm not going to get over that because I don't have to look that far back to where I'd have been going to church somewhere and mad and then, it didn't get nothing when I got there, and just more frustrated and pretend like I got something that ain't working. And I'm telling you, I'm glad of that. I saw in there and just talking about being thankful for freedom this morning, that what it means that He resurrected, that He defeated death. All that He did for us. And so I was thinking that in 2 Corinthians 3 it says this, 15 I believe, that whenever Moses is read, he's talking, even unto this day, when Moses is read, there's a veil over the people's eyes and heart. It's like when the law is read, when the law is preached, when the law is still active and going in people's religion and hearts and minds and the way they think, there's still the veil over their eyes. This wrappings around. And then I looked over there where we're talking about resurrection morning, right, where Lazarus is raised from the dead, and that's a big deal, right? And even though Lazarus, Jesus calls for Lazarus, and Lazarus is raised from the dead and comes walking out of that tomb, it still says he's wrapped up in those death cloths, or he's like, I don't know, I picture like a mummy in my mind. I don't know what exactly they do, but he's still wrapped up in all that stuff, And I think, man, that was me. Oh yeah, I prayed the prayer. Oh yeah, I'd heard Him call my name. Oh yeah, I was born again, but I was still...
Yep.
still had that wrapping veil over my face. My eyes were blinded because I really didn't have the freedom to understand who He is and what He really has done for me. And that see, Jesus went on to say, loose him and let him go. In other words, don't just come out of the grave. Don't just celebrate Good Friday. Don't just celebrate Good Friday. Thank God for Good Friday. I'm not taking away from it, but let's not stop there. We spent most of our lives stopping there. By golly, what about Sunday morning? What about taking the veil off so we can see clearly now? We no longer have religion, but we've got open access. Well, what does that song say? What'd you say? The gates of heaven, open, I'm forgiven. How'd that go? Something like that. We don't have religion no more. We have access to God.
Yes.
Because of Jesus. We no longer have dead religion where we can just say, well, He died on the cross for me and woe is me. We got Sunday morning. Resurrection, new life now. We don't have to be bound up with a veil over our eyes and just be religious and can't wait for Jesus to get here because it's so bad. Fooling with that nonsense. We've got life with God. We got life with God. Loose him and let him go. That's why I like that this morning. Loose him and let him go. I don't know. Y'all know that already. So maybe I'll just eat. What y'all want to know? Anybody here glad to be loosed and let go?
Yes.
I want to tell you what death is, because we think of death as, funeral homes and in the casket and crossing the River Jordan over into the blue yonder. That's what we think of death. But death comes in degrees. We've just pushed it off to dying one day, but really death comes in degrees. A little bit of sickness is a little bit of death in a smaller degree. If let go, it will eventually end up to a larger degree, right? I'm just saying, we don't have to put up with any degrees of it. No degrees of death. Total freedom. Total resurrection. There's no death left on him when he come out of there. And the same as we were in the likeness of his death, remember we talked about a few weeks ago? We're also alive in the likeness of his resurrection. We've been born again. I just ain't over it. I don't want to get over it. I'm alive. I'm alive because He's alive. I'm more alive than I ever been.
Amen. Amen. Yeah.
Anybody glad to be alive?
Yeah.
Anybody glad you don't have to be religious no more?
Right.
And be grumbling and growling because you're just bored because all it ever tells you is work on your behavior and act better? Get them old grave clothes off, you'll act better. You get that veil off your eyes, you start seeing clearly, you'll act better. Fooey with focusing on that. Alright, remember Thursday? You believe your son, you'll act like your son.
That's right.
I'm just thankful to be free. Y'all, Carly, you thankful to be free?
I did all that religious stuff for many, many years. You name it, I did it. I'm free now.
Yeah. This is better, ain't it? Yeah, this is better. Here's what freedom does. Freedom takes the pressure off of you and what you do and puts the pressure, if you will, on Him and what He's done. And it allows Him to work. It allows Him to work. And when He works, it works. And they'll say, now, wait a minute now, you know, that freedom, well, you just can't... What? Now, Carla, I know you're, you know, I'm wondering that myself. Since you found freedom, I know you were all a big-time sinner, Hall of Fame sinner and all that, wild, crazy woman, right? Since you've experienced God in freedom, experienced healing, experienced all this now, seeing Him how He really is, living in that, not being sin conscious, did that cause you to go sin more?
No. No, I was to the point of doing everything, and I knew I was never good enough. I was rotten, even doing everything the church told me to do. But when I found out, I'm redeemed. I'm not just saved, and then I have to live by laws after you get saved. I knew you were saved by grace. I didn't know how to walk by grace. Yeah.
Good, sis. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, like getting healed all of a sudden by grace and living in that. I always ask people sometimes, anybody here been healed? Like
Yes.
miraculously
Yes.
anytime healed? Yeah,
Yes.
everybody healed. Did it cause, did it like revive sin and flare up sin and the desire
No.
for sin inside you?
No.
What are we afraid of? What are we afraid of? Life with God. Life in God. It's good stuff. I mean, it's the goodness of God that leads man to repentance. That means to change. It's the goodness of God that brings about change inside of me. When I see and experience His goodness, that fans the power of God in me to receive change. Religion talks about the opposite. Now, you can't turn God too loose. I mean, brother, yeah, we're saved by grace, but now, don't get carried away, right? Why not get carried away? Why not let God be as good as He wants to be?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Because when I see and experience that and live in that, that's what turns the power of God loose in to continue to change me and because I'm no longer under the law. I'm no longer under the standard. I'm no longer under the performance-based thing where it's up to me and if I did this or didn't do this, then I could be healed. He said just go on and be healed because I'm good. And when you experience that, the power of sin that's alive inside of you will die. And chains will be gone and the power of that thing loses its power and you're set free and you did it by His power instead of yours. Anybody tried it by your power? That'll make you thankful. Yeah. All right. Yes, sir.
This hyper grace message that you're talking about, this greasy grace that you're talking about. I don't know how it is that people have been in church for so long, because we talk about grace, this true gospel. They've never heard this message before, but it's the gospel. It's the only gospel. We didn't change it. We're just speaking the truth, and just laying it out there for you. And they say that we're scary for speaking this message that we're speaking. It's more scary is that they're in churches full of 1,000 people saying that we're wrong, that this is greasy grace or this is hyper grace. There's only one grace. There's only one truth. There's only one gospel. You know, there's only one Jesus. This is what He says. This is what it's about. So, that's why we should do it.
Yeah, there's these terminologies, that they use, and why wouldn't they? Because here's the thing: if there's no power in it, there's going to be no backlash. So the enemy's scared. The enemy is scared. That's why all this is flared up. He's getting desperate because he smells us in the air and knows we're coming. So he's going to flare up greasy grace. He's going to try to discount. He's going to hyper grace to try to produce fear in people and say, oh, about all that, and want to throw up these terminologies to try to classify us and define us and all. Because that's what religion does. It tries to classify you. Because if it can classify you, it can separate you, sort you. The enemy's scared. He's scared of this grace message. the message of freedom, because then now we become sons. And now the power of God is turned loose inside of us. The more you get free, the more the power flows. The more you get free of yourself, the more the power flows. Yeah, he better start flaring up if he knows what he's got coming. He better pull out all the stops. He better stir up all the controversy and everything else that he can stir up, because he's too late. He's too late. It's already alive in my heart. They can come at me with all the stuff they want. I know what's changed me.
Amen.
And I know what's worked inside of me. Nobody else can know. You all can think I just get up here and fake and pretend and put on some kind of act every Thursday. It's all right for somebody on the outside to think that. I know what's happened inside of me. I know where I was. I know where I am now. There's nobody that can talk me out of that. Use all the Bible they want to. I've been with him.
Right.
Yeah.
I've already been there. Don't tell me, you ain't taking, and I ain't going back. I forgot where it was. I'm done cocooned. You can't take a butterfly and turn him back into a caterpillar, Was that right?
Right.
Yeah, he ain't going back in there. He'd die before he'd go back in there. That's what I'm talking about. Good stuff. I'll say, let me read this. Let me read this for Chris. Good stuff. Good stuff. People don't like change. And people don't, I say the first thing that I had to do to start getting revelation of God, who He really is and what He's really like, and to start having my questions answered, the first thing that I had to come to grips with is that I had to be willing to say, it's possible that I could be wrong. Now that's hard. That's hard to do. Now look, I'm not saying just be gullible and be wrong about everything and believe what anybody tells you. I'm saying in your heart, on your face, just you and God, it is possible that I'm wrong. Right? I had to get to that place before I could ever start understanding what he really wanted to show me, because once I decided I could be wrong and that it's possible for me to be wrong, then it's like the whole world opened up. Now I can show you something. Now I can change your thinking. Listen to this. This is Galatians 5. Y'all need to know where this is. All right, Galatians 5. You ready? 10 years ago, probably longer than that now. 12 years ago, if you'd have told me this was in the Bible, I'd have fought you over it. I mean, go to the dirt. Galatians 5, verse 1. I want to read. Let me read. Let's see. I'll read you this one. I'll read you mine first. This is New American Standard. I usually read out this, and then this is Galatians 5:1. It was for freedom. There's that word again. It was for freedom that Christ set us free. Therefore keep standing firm and do not be subject again to the yoke of slavery. Talking about religion, talking about the law. Behold, I, Paul. In other words, he's saying, I'm sure they know who's wrote the letter, right? I'm sure they know who's wrote this, right? But it's like emphasis. Behold, I, Paul. Like, you listen here, I ain't backing up off of this. I'm putting my name on it. This is serious right here, right? I'm sure that, why would he say that in a letter that he's like, right? Behold, I, Paul, say to you, that if you receive circumcision, Christ will be of no benefit to you. And I testify again to every man who receives circumcision, that is, to go up under the law, that he is under obligation to keep the whole law. You have been severed from Christ. You who are seeking to be justified by law, you who are seeking to be justified by what you do or don't do, you who are justified, you who are seeking to be justified by what you do or don't do, have I got that? Yikes. You have fallen from grace. Now I know them cats talking that greasy grace and hyper grace and all this stuff, they talk that stuff, they're saying, you're just saying sin don't matter. You say you just be saved and live however you want. No, you say once saved, always saved. I don't know about that. I don't even get in those discussions. I don't know what once saved, always saved means. All I know is Jason's always going to be saved. I know that Jason got saved by grace, and that caused me to fall in love with him, and I get to live life with God. It's not an obligation to hang out with the coolest dude that ever existed. But it does say that Christ is no effect to you, and you have fallen from grace. Now that doesn't sound to me like once saved, always saved. Now maybe it doesn't have to do with eternal. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not even going there. I'm just saying according to that language right there, yikes. But to those cats talking greasy grace and hyper grace and all this kind of stuff, does it look like you can fall from grace according to that? Does it look like Christ would be of no effect to you according to that?
Yes.
Sure. According to that, that's what it says, right? Is it because of sin?
No.
No. No.
Uh-oh.
No.
Uh-oh. You ain't sinning your way out of it.
Trying to
working your way out of it.
earn your way out of it.
Yikes. Listen to this. This is message version. I like the message version. Same passage. Christ has set us free to live a free life. So take your stand. Never again let anyone put a harness of slavery on you. I am emphatic about this, Paul says. I am emphatic about this. It's about the most important thing that Paul teaches on throughout the whole deal. This is his message right here. I am emphatic about this. The moment any of you submits to circumcision or any other rule-keeping system, at that same moment, Christ's hard-won gift of freedom is squandered. I repeat my warning. The person who accepts the ways of circumcision trades all the advantages of the free life in Christ for the obligations of the slave life of the law. Am I glad to be free this morning?
Amen. Yes.
I want some more of it, don't you?
Yes.
I'm glad we're free to live a life, a live life.
Yes.
That's what Easter's about. Thank God for grace.
Yes.
I pray we keep on living in it and seeing it and preaching it to the level that you bet if there's any religiousness left in anybody, they're going to squirm. They're going to squirm. I'm not saying that out of meanness. I'm saying out of this. If we are the light of the world, anytime light shows up, darkness gets nervous. Darkness gets nervous. And we can have fun with that. We don't have to be offended. You know, we don't have to be offended. Somebody gets honest about that, Chris. I know what you do out there in life, and man, people on Chris all the time about it. And you all know, you too, we've all been there. I'm saying we don't have to be offended, fight, and argue. We're free. We're free. We're free to love. We're free to be. They're free. We're free. Since we're free, they become free from us. My stuff no longer needs approval from anybody. What I got's good, and I'm going to get it if I go to the backside of the wilderness for 40 years and tend the sheep. I'm all right. I don't need your approval. I don't have to come here and stand and let you guys pat me on the back to say I feel like I'm doing good. I don't mean for that to sound insensitive. I love this. I'm just saying, I'm free. It's me and him. I got approval from God.
Amen.
Now what do I need from anybody else? Except bacon and eggs. Everybody good?
Yes.
Anybody else? Everybody's heart's clear?
I can say that freedom that you're talking about, when you get that sort of peace on you, when you get that peace and you get set up for the rest of the blessings that he's gonna give you.
Yes.
That peace is a big deal, you'll get that through his freedom.
Paul said peace is a big deal.
Yes, it is.
You know what's funny, Grace? It's hard to convince someone who's already been in it about the grace. But when you offer it to the person who's never heard of it before, it's just,
Yeah.
it's just fall into it.
Yeah.
And all the things, I've been working with the young man, and all we did was read Romans and Hebrews. Took his addictions away, changed his family, changed his life, changed his whole household, and everything. Just because he didn't have any prior teaching. It just works.
Yep. Yep.
I don't think it's any coincidence that even while I was a Christian and going to church, I was still addicted to pain medication for legitimate pain. I was still on anxiety medicine for anxiety. I was drinking like a fish. My home was a wreck with my relationships. And as soon as I heard this message, all that went away, and I didn't even realize. I don't have any pain anymore. I don't have any anxiety, so I didn't even need medicine anymore, but I didn't even realize it fell off, like the scales off the blind man. It took 2 weeks for me to realize that all that had went away. So that's that peace that Bob's talking about. That's that freedom that you're talking about. The chains fell off, and now I can live life freely, abundantly, and it took no effort of my own. Zero.
Yeah. The Pharisees did not say loose him and let him go.
That's
Jesus.
good.
Jesus said loose him, let him go.
That's right.
Him and him alone. Him and him alone. I'll quit with this, but Jesus took a couple of the boys up on the mountain, right? God shows up, and Peter's freaking out. It's a good deal, you know. And so Peter's like, whoa, I think Elijah shows up, or why? I'm just paraphrasing the story. Anyway, Peter's like, whoa, maybe we should build us a tabernacle. Let's build a tabernacle for you. We'll build a tabernacle for them, the prophets and them. And God says, oh, hear him.
Right. This is my
Him. Only.
Yep.
No more. Him. All by himself. All by himself. He deserves every bit of the credit and honor. And when you give it all to him, man, he swells up. He gets bigger. Grace and peace, Mom. Grace and peace is multiplied through knowledge of him. Knowing him increases grace and peace. how can you overdose on that? You can't work it up, you can't earn it, you can't deserve it. All you can do is know Him. By knowing Him, it increases. I say, let's just know Him. I don't need to know me. I knew me. I got tired of listening to preaching about me. There's lots of that going on this morning.
Jason, when you're talking about